everybody, G-Force41 here with another PGA Tour 2K25 golf course design tip tutorial video. This is Quick Tips 27. Welcome to Quick Tips 27 at Dorothea Quarry by YT Creekybo. I have no idea what this course is, but it looks pretty. That's a pretty first shot. The only thing I could find, I didn't see any write-ups out there. There's a Dorothea Quarry in Wales, I believe, and it's near a slate mine, a historic site. So I don't know if that's what this is about, but I didn't find a description anywhere on TGC Tours. I didn't look at Reddit too closely, but let's take a look at what Mr. Creekybo has up his sleeve here. Good opening shot, kind of a dark morning-ish neutral lighting. So he's gone neutral lighting. He's done a pretty good job with it. And we got some bunkers up here. They look like there's some decent sculpt. Well, they could use a little bit of sculpting work. I like the textures. So let's get rolling. Quick Tips is, if you haven't joined us, where I give just that, quick tips to newer designers, help them out with their design career and build their portfolio the right way. We're up to 27. I used to play 6 holes, then I moved to 9 holes, then I went to 18, then back to 6 and 9. So I think we're going to play the front 9 here. So this has almost got a heathy kind of dark look to it. So this is kind of like a parkland course. Might be Wales, something like that. Could be. But I like it so far. There's some really good scenery here, and that's pretty good. Retaining wall, it's a little crooked, but those are hard to do. Decent looking green. It's kind of fallen off in both directions, but that's fine. That's understandable. Don't really have a feel for the land and which way everything should go yet. And I'm not going to take too many chances with that wind, but oh, look at that lie. See if the wind can help me out there, and no, I totally whiffed. Oh, and he gets burned on the opening hole. So we're going to see, what is the lateral drop? No, we're going to go back. We go back on a line. Is that going to give me something good? Don't forget to use this in real life, folks. The back on the line. People just go up to the water and take a drop. I kind of want a full shot in. I want that nice flat area right there. I've seen it so many times. People don't think and they just plunk that ball down. Yeah, so textures are good. Some nice neutral lighting. Green looks reasonable. Take a look at bunkers next. Don't know Mr. YT Creekybo here, other than he's a viewer of the channel. Thank you very much. And he asked me to play his course. So if you want your course played on Quick, just drop me a line. Hey, happy to do it. Don't have a ton of requests right now. So if you want to get it in there. Whoa! Okay, first tip. Way too fast on the cameras. There you go. Slow it down. Oh, and then it starts again. So smooth and steady with the cameras. People go crazy with the cameras. Look at this planting. So we talked about planting on the last video. Racer Gibbs got a great new course going. The golf seems pretty good, everything, but he struggles with the planting, admittedly so, and it wasn't planted. So look at how well planted this is. And it takes advantage of this neutral light as well. I mean, the low light makes the planting look really good in certain instances, but this has got a very natural, organic feel to it. And the trees look very reasonable and well done. And so you've got a really good feel. Look, you get a little path right there. You're just using the terrain and the features of the designer to give it kind of that real-world ambiance. I think it's a win so far on the planning. I can't quite see the bunkers. Yeah, I think the bunkers could use a little bit of sculpting. They look okay inside. I can't get in there. I might hit one in there on purpose. But again, see, everything's kind of uneven there. Could bunkers be uneven like that? Sure. But look at some of the better designers. It tends to look a little bit more natural than that. Whoops. But so that's kind of a funny place for 2 bunkers, but usually you wouldn't see that one lower than the other. So that one's peeking its head out there, so you can see it. That's fine. You know, there's bunkers there. So okay on that. Strategery so far, not a ton, other than it's just kind of bends around the corner. I didn't look at the green. Let's look at the bunkers too much. Pretty good camber, as they say. This is obviously, maybe the strategy here, I didn't look close enough, is you want to stay up on that top hill if you could for certain hole positions. Although this is a par 5, I kind of like where I'm at right here. Right down on the flat, right up the chute. So, going to be interesting there. So let's take a look at the bunkers real quick. Now you got one pot bunker here, which is pretty steep. It looks like it's okay inside. So the insides of these look okay. I'm not sure exactly what he did it. I'd say just a touch around the bunkers with that fuzzy donut brush. Because it looks like you just kind of cut in, and so it's not horrendous, but it's not. There has been some work done, it looks like to me. So, touche there, not bad. I got to get up 17 feet in an 8-mile-an-hour wind with a pretty flat lie. So, going to see what happens. I don't choke down much on the 3-wood. Let's see what happens. And I cut it too much. Probably wasn't a bad idea. And again, the greens are reasonable. I think we got to just punch one into this hill right here. Oh. So this one only has 66 plays. So from what I've seen so far, unless there's something drastic, this one is deserving a few more plays than that. A little too fast again on the camera. Whoa! Crazy. I'm getting dizzy. Oh my goodness. I think people do that because they want to get the whole hole, the entire hole in, and they just wing it down there, rather than just show what you want to show at the end. That's the way I've been doing it. If you wanted that pretty view from behind the green, just kind of start there and move slowly. Okay, par 3, a little bit of a reverse. It's not a reverse Redan really, but kind of same kind of idea, almost. About 200 yards down, 210. So almost reverse Redanish. You got some decent hills, and it's falling off, and it's mainly falling off towards the river. Is it a river? Yeah, it's a river. Or pond. You got a little bit of a puddle green here. I always talked about those in my early videos. I don't think that's really draining. That's puddle central, if you ask me. You could say it might drain over here and seep down, but that's a little puddly. But otherwise, this is pretty solid. Again, pretty view. Show off most of your work. A little blockage on the left side of the scene. That's fine to me. You got a nice bridge over there in the distance. Oh, and there's a bad kick. And the planting's reasonable. Good sizes. A lot of times when you go with this neutral light, this low light, it's too dark. But this, for me, is good. Now, I know there's differences in people's monitors. And, I play on a TV because this is PlayStation. But here we go again. Oh, my God. I'm skipping it. My own. I'm getting dizzy. All right. So where are we going on this one? And by the way, these are the back tees. I'm playing the wind, I think, northeast medium. Okay. So you got a decision here. 34 feet downhill. You're going to run out of room, but I got 9 miles an hour in my face. And you got a little bit of skinny neck there and a decent sized bunker. Again, you see the sculpting around that bunker could be a little bit better. All right. And I'm debating whether I do that bunkers video again. So we're going 430 up a hill. So I kind of like this hole. I think these are kind of creative. I don't know that you want to be over here too much. I'm not sure when you'd go over there. I honestly think it's worth the risk just going here. I know it's a little safer shot over there. So from a strategy standpoint, I like what he's trying to do. And then I wind up doing that. But still, I'd rather have that 137 up the hill out of the rough than being way back there, especially this whole location. If that was a better angle on the left side, maybe, because you're losing distance and you're losing angle, so it's a little bit riskier. So oh, it's a terrible chip. Plus, you're just going to run out of fairway even with the wind in your face. So I like it. I think the designer is thinking strategically here. But maybe if you had that green going the other way, that would have been a little bit better. But I like it. Look, I have good rock work here. Let's take a quick look. Because I mentioned rock work last... I didn't mean to do that. Please hold. Okay. Sorry about that. So this is some pretty decent rock work right here. Okay. Now I'm going close up. Most people are not going to look at it close up. But looks pretty realistic from a distance, okay? Alright, so we're gonna, we're going skinny neck again, so we're just narrowing holes here, so you don't want to get too repetitive. We're on the 5th hole, and I think most of these holes have kind of narrowed in the driving area. So let's hopefully not go to that well too often. Given that, even with the 8 miles an hour in my face, I'm going 3-wood. Interesting shaped green, a little crescent shaped green. Some bunkers in the front. Yeah, so just, this is the finer details. See how kind of weird those bunkers look? They're just kind of awkward and bulky and bumpy. They're not smooth. That could be a really cool bunker. I mean, you might want to put one bunker there. If you want to, just sculpt it. So it's just kind of weird. It looks like a weird depression. Kind of bowl-shaped. I don't think you'd really see that. So, those are the finer points. So it doesn't make the course unplayable, but certainly puts the final touches on. Now, this is a little blind up here, which fine. I think that's understandable because if you got closer to the end of this fairway, you'd have a view of the green. So fair enough. And I do like the green. It's going the way you would think it should go, towards the water for the most part. I will say the greens here, it looks like there's a lot of flattened brushes been used on them. I can just tell because I've designed so much over the years. So a lot of times designers just take to the flattened brush on the greens to try to smooth them out. And it doesn't lend to kind of consistent rolls. But these are fine. I can just tell there's a little bit of flattening going on. I'm not saying don't use it. But those beads start getting uneven, which some people will say is good, and some will not. Right? Because a natural green isn't going to roll the same on every single. It's not going to be completely uniform. You're going to have little peaks in them with swales in them and things. But, use your judgment. 18 feet up to the fair. Okay, so this one doesn't kind of narrow, so you got a lot of runway here. It's just up a hill. Realistic. Got a dead tree there. Yeah, this one, we'll look at the screen as we get up here. It's not a little crescent the other way. And this is a par 5, 622 yards. And then we're heading towards some village here in the distance. Okay. So I like this. It's a big par 5. Don't restrict the tee shot. Like, the longer the par 5, the probably less you want to restrict the tee shot. Let the golfer bomb away a little bit. There's nothing worse. Oh, it was a little bit of a hog's back there. Interesting. And that's way up there. Okay. So this is basically a 3-shot hole, and you've got a little impediment here. So you do have some decision to make whether or not I want to shoot it through that neck. Could you actually get down there? Interesting. Or just lay it up in here. On the show, we're not probably going to lay up too much. But I think maybe, let's see if that neck is going to carry it down to the green. If that's intentional, that's a good design, except that is a horrible shot. And we're in the brush. So we'll get a close-up look at the planting. Yeah, this green's a little funky. Again, I think it's a little puddly. I think you can make an argument that would drain, but I think it's a little bit of a puddle green up here. So it's a little forced. It doesn't look particularly natural. Is it playable? Yeah, I think so, unless you put the pin in some silly places. But I'm sure you have a pin over here. You could have a pin here. It'd be tricky. And you could probably have a pin up here. I'd be curious to see where the rest of the pins are. Oh, that's not bad. Sit. There you go. And a little kicking bird. We'll take that. Through 6, so far so good. I'd say I thought that was going to be a little par 3. This is a long par 3. Ooh, that's a small green for 214 yards. Now, the previous par 3 was also about 210 yards. So make sure you try to switch up your distances. You kind of, you don't want them all being around the same distance. This is a little longer than the other one and downhill. Again, here's the bunker sculpting at play. Meh. Here. I'm not sure what was going on there, but again, around the bunker looks kind of kludgy. In the back, they look a little uneven, and that one looks a little uneven too. But, as far as the depth, they'll play okay. It's just not textbook. But okay. And I think it's a shortish, smallish green for 214 yards. We'll see. Yeah, a little downhill, a little yellowish. And these greens, I didn't even look. They're rolling at 121. So they're rolling at a slow speed. We'll take that one. All right, through 7. Another, par 4, 521. All right, so now we're kind of going to this well a little too often here. So again, we've got, just the strategies it narrows in the driving area. Okay, I mean, fine. There are other ways to approach this. Like this could be further back, right? So you could land here and have that bunker be up about 40 or 50 yards. So you kind of you can sneak one in there. But try to, be a little bit more creative than just pinching at 300 every time. And that's sometimes what you see with a lot of newer beginners newer designers, beginners. I used to do it all the time. I probably still do it too much. So you just see that the ground is a little weird and uneven around the bunkers. Especially when you've got a 520 yard par 4. I know par is a figment of your imagination, so to speak, whatever the designer says it is, but so this could be a short 5 and you'd say it's an easy hole, right? It's the same hole. But you can see the beads are a little uneven around the green, right? They're kind of going fast and then they're slow and some of them are barely moving and they're going a little bit different directions. That happens a lot when you flatten things out. So if you're not an experienced designer, you might be like, how can you tell? I just can. You could just see it. So what's the try to use the raise brush, okay? So, start with something relatively flat and raise, or, use the raise brush to bring something up to get rid of the reds. It's a little bit of an art form for sure. But I use the raise brush a lot more. I'll use the flattened, very big and very wide to get, a crazy green reasonable. But once you start kind of pressing it down too much, it gives you that kind of uneven, lumpy, bumpy feel. Now, you might want to be going for that. Fine, but that's just my opinion and my approach. You'll see a lot of the better designers, the greens are rolling fairly uniform, especially around the hole. Doesn't mean they're not moving. It just means they're moving uniformly. All right, let's roll one more. Let's go to the 9th. There we go. Now we're getting creative a little bit. Okay, so now it's a little different. Now we've got all sorts of options. I like this one a lot. So you've got options. You can go this way. You can lay back here. You can even lay back here if you really wanted. You can go in here. I got 35 down, and the wind is going a little bit across, a little bit into my face. So I'm going to sneak one in there. No question. But I'm not going to fade it. Because if I fade it too much, it could have been disaster. And that bunker is appropriately placed. All right, I didn't trickle in. So look at the green. Again, a little humpy, bumpy, uneven. Doesn't know which way to go. You got water over there, right? So are we going to the agua? Not really. We're kind of going away from the agua. I almost feel like this green is backwards, right? Now you're going to say, is there agua over there? I don't think so. There's kind of the mountains over there. So the highland is kind of behind the camera here, going to the lowland. So I don't think that green, I like the shape and I like the idea of it and I like the hole. I think the green could go the other way a little bit. You know, it's kind of snug in the corner there. Could go a bunch of different ways, but for the most part, I would expect it to, you know, the land would kind of go down to the water here, and it's kind of going up and then down, and it's a big down over here. Is it a big deal? No. Is it a little deal? Yeah. I'm here to help. Ideas to make it better. And this is, hey, when I test my courses, this is what I do, right? I look at it. How can I make this all better? I'm constantly saying that when I'm making a new course. So I like doing it. I like going to my old courses when I pour them over and making the whole better. It's fun. It's not as much work. Starting from scratch. All right. So this isn't going anywhere. And there it is. All right, we'll take it. We'll take a peek at 10 while I sign off. So that's Dorothea Quarry, YT Creekybo. Definitely deserves more than 66 plays. So get on out there and play this one. It looks pretty good. I would say it's probably, is it casuals worthy, but it's maybe just short of being casuals worthy. It's pretty good, actually. Who knows? Might have Mike take a look at it. Always my second opinion on things, but just a little sculpting and maybe a little bit of work. The greens are a little but I like the view. I mean, just the scenery, the views, the painting a picture are excellent. So another beautiful picture painted off the tee here. And it's a very, very playable course. So once you get out there and enjoy it. So that's it for Quick Tips number 27. Thanks for joining us. Again, if you want your course reviewed on Quick Tips, drop me a line in the comments. Drop me a line in the comments anyway. And you know what? If you have tips for the designers, especially if you're an experienced designer, I know we have a few of them out there that watch and listen. Drop your ideas down there too. I am not the be-all, end-all authority. I never claim to be. We're doing this to help everybody get better. So if you have ideas, drop them in the comments. Love to hear from you. That's all for today, folks. Bye for now, and we'll see you real soon.